Hello, it's been a little while since I've done one of these, but figured I'd give it another go. Um, right now, it is April 9th, 2025, and there's a lot of, still a lot of turmoil, still a lot of strife, still a lot of struggle, but a lot of really great things are on the horizon. Just kind of my synopsis of things as it stands now. A lot of people, myself included, are kind of starting to get pretty leery about Trump's seeming alliance with Israel. Not that the people of Israel are bad people. I think they're great people, but it kind of gets into tinfoil hat territory. But basically, there's a fair number of people that, one, don't want to get involved in another 20-year war, which looks like that's going to shape up here, in the near future if things don't radically change, and that's got a lot of people concerned. And also got, though the wheels of justice are seemingly turning, there's a lot of good things on the horizon as far as, cleaning up the streets and whatnot from crime. There's a lot of people that are still pretty disgruntled over some pretty bigwig characters that are guilty of some pretty serious and heinous crimes not being held accountable. And it's getting very frustrating for a lot of folks, myself included, because we want to see justice and we want to see these people that have exacerbated and undermined and used this nation for personal ends brought low and brought to justice. But that may or may not happen. A lot of people believe that Pam Bondi is compromised, and maybe she is, maybe she isn't. At first I was thinking, yeah, okay, sure, she is, and now I'm kind of going, well, there's some reasons why it could not be, and then now I'm just kind of sitting there on the fence about it. I don't know what to make of it. She's doing a lot of good things, and there are some things where it seems like she's dragging her feet on, so I don't know what to make of it right now. And now we also have, about 6 days into Trump's tariff upheaval, basically. Tariff war, I guess you could call it. And day one, when they launched, a lot of people were really, really upset because they saw the stock market and everything completely cave. And now it's in utter turmoil. And some economists and financial experts and those that are regularly dealing with the stock market, they say, well, okay, yeah, things look really irregular. And they've projected what they believe Trump is doing, which is trying to upset the stock market by about 20% in the negative. And the reason for that, though that's definitely harmful short term, will essentially make it so that the Treasury gets inundated with cash, forcing them to renegotiate terms for interest rates and whatnot. And many believe that Trump is looking to use that to renegotiate the terms of the interest rate on the U.S. national debt, which will decrease it to a near zero amount, which will make it easier to pay off overall. I think that's a very wild strategy, and a lot of people are saying, yeah, it's absolutely insane, and under normal circumstances it would not work, but somehow or other he's making it work. So I don't know what's going to come of that, because you also have renegotiating trade terms with several countries across the globe. You also have a renegotiation of boundaries of what the U.S. will tolerate versus what they won't. I mean, China's doubling down, and they definitely have a very strong hold over the global trade sector. I saw a map where they pretty much own they're dominating about 75% of the overall world trade bargains and agreements that lean in their favor for exports. And Trump is going toe-to-toe with them, now threatening, I think, a total of 105 or 103 or whatever percent tariff on all their goods that they import from China. And the other thing about tariffs is that it's supposed to help with creating and spurring local job markets now and local production. Now, that's going to take time. That's probably going to take anywhere between 6 months to 5 years to really bear fruit. We'll see. It kind of depends upon how quickly these companies jump on board. I'm sure we've got a lot of abandoned warehouses and a lot of things that, well, for lack of a better term, a lot of things that could be reopened or need to be renovated or redone from the ground up and new buildings built. So we'll see how that one pans out. If Trump manages to only score one of those multifaceted ordeals with the trade tariffs, hey, that's great. I think that's a step in the right direction. If he manages to score two, that's an even lower probability of actually being successful, but even better. And if he manages to get 3 of those items, then that is an incredible win, and I think he deserves some pretty major props for that. So we'll see how that one pans out. Still disgruntled and still discouraged with what's going on between Russia and Ukraine. Apparently Trump has reinstigated transport of military armaments and whatnot to Ukraine, which they in turn use to basically screw over the ceasefire agreement. And it's put an egg on the face of Trump, an egg on the face of the U.S., like, hey, you negotiated and you agreed to this. So long as we continue to give you armaments, you would not pursue use of force. And here he is turning around and doing it again. So Zelensky is kind of in hot water. Russia, from where I'm standing, looks like they have some pretty strong economic options available to them that allows them to sustain a war if it ends up going that way. And given that the U.S. is in a very precarious position because they're kind of trying to honor their agreements with NATO while also simultaneously trying to give the other nations of NATO a chance to build up their armaments and defend themselves, they don't really have the means to do so. Their military might is very weak by comparison to both Russia and the U.S., so I don't know how that one's going to pan out. I would prefer that we leave the UN and NATO, but and for multiple reasons, not just because, hey, I want us to focus on America first, but I think the U.S. overall has kind of overstepped their bounds, and we're not very good world police by any means. And I think it would be for everybody's best interest if we became more isolationist by nature. And I say that because, one, it encourages other countries to start taking care of themselves a little better when it comes to their own defense. And two, it gets us out of a ability to abuse our position if we get a corrupt leader again, to go and just kind of throw our weight around and undermine a bunch of other countries. So I think overall it would be to everybody's benefit if we left international affairs primarily to other countries to deal with on their own. That may sound harsh at first, but I think it'd be healthy for everybody overall. So those are my thoughts. Those are my views and perspectives on what's going on right now. We'll see how it shapes up here in a couple months. I might make another couple videos here soon, or I might not. I don't know. Talk to you later. Bye.